Folks, have your attention, please. If I had to distill this down to one thing, it's do we put on another election or do we go about our business? The reason we put on an election in 2008 was because, not because Steve Shane came to us, but because the commissioner of DHCR, Deborah Van Ameringen, came to us and said, would you be interested in doing this? Steve Shane was in the room, but it was her offer, and we assume it came from the governor. What we need to do before we do anything, go forward to offer the best and the brightest of Roosevelt Island as contenders for this important job, is will it be honored by the governor? If we put up 6 people for empty seats and not a single one of them gets on the board, then we're nothing but buffoons. We have to know, which is why this meeting is so damn important. We have to know, will you honor the commitment that we make to give you our best? People who consider the board of a $30 million a year corporation and do justice to the job. Otherwise,
but if we don't hold the election, there'll be nothing for him to honor.
Exactly. So we need to hold it.
So we have to have something for him to honor. If it involves time and money and effort, so be it.
Senator first and said,
we don't need them. We're not children. We don't need their permission.
I'm afraid we do. To have an election before you sit down with the governor.
No.
No.
No, I don't think so.
I think that would be a good idea.
Yeah, I'm trying to. Yeah, I want to.
We're on the same.
You want to do it faster.
I want to just get some quick answers.
It is here. Can you let him know that we're about to have an election? I mean, that I think that's the next.
That you're talking about.
Next
Chris is right. We never got anything on paper from anybody, but we were told if you do a decent job at this, we will respect your choices, and you did. You told me. This is Spencer.
Well, I remember when I was a candidate for the Senate, or right after I did it, I was newly elected, and we had Spitzer come to the aisle. He was then candidate. First question anyone asked him in the church was about this, and he gave the right answer, if I recall correctly, and followed through on that.
Follow through.
Cuomo's never come here to meet Roosevelt Islanders. He's never been on the side, never been to this community.
Why don't we invite him to the opening of Southtown on August 3rd?
Good idea.
South Point.
South Point, I'm sorry. Southtown, South Point. It's a big event. Maybe he'll come.
Is that DR?
Are they going to open?
Do you think it should we demonstrate, or I mean, should we just sit tight for you to meet with him? Should we? Does it hurt us? Does it help us?
I don't want to tell you guys what to do. I think that any group should be very autonomous from its elected officials. That's just my belief. I know that a lot of people don't hold on to those same beliefs that I have. But I think that if there's too much political influence in anything, boards, community boards, resident associations, that's when things start getting really bad. So, and I mentioned this a little bit earlier when I was talking to her. So, again, I think that you've made your case abundantly clear already. I think that it is abundantly clear to the administration that this appointment has generated a great deal of controversy. I think Assemblymember Kellner was very instrumental in bringing that information directly to the second floor when we were still trying to wrap our heads about what was happening. For that, we're very grateful. And I think that the fact that the Albany Times-Union reporter wrote a story about this last week shows that it is not just a local issue anymore. This is being talked about in Albany. So I would say that if you are asking me that question based upon, do you think the governor's people are aware of the controversy surrounding this, I would say they are aware. The fact that they've responded to our meeting request about this issue and to Damaris's phone call, I think shows that they are aware of the issue and they're aware of the problems surrounding it. I haven't been privy to all of the Assembly members' conversations with the second floor, so I'm not sure what he asked them and what their answer was in response. But I know that when I go sit down, very respectfully, I'm going to enumerate the issues that were presented to me by my constituents, and I have a responsibility as your state senator to bring those issues forward and to demand an answer in one shape or another as to how we will address all of these problems. So I think that's I don't think that that meeting is going to be the end all. As the assembly member said, the dialogue has already begun. He's got a couple of pots simmering as far as discussions go. We're going to try to get this meeting going. There's going to be other meetings. I think we have to have this ongoing dialogue because, like any other organic situation, there's going to be new issues that arise. We need to have these relationships in place, and we need to make our position abundantly clear going forward so that we are respected, which is the key word here tonight, on every single thing that we do going forward.
Ashton?
You talked about preparing a backgrounder so that you all are up to speed on everything that we're concerned about, the history and the issues.
Yeah.
And one of the things that I had already been thinking about, in addition to that, was to making it available to you all, in anticipation of a meeting with the governor, whether it's your meeting with the governor, our meeting with the governor, or a joint meeting with the governor, wouldn't it be helpful to make this document available to his staff in advance of the meeting so that they don't come in cold trying to absorb the information?
I think it's fine. I'm not.
I mean, but if it's, would you like it in order to do
Yes,
this?
I don't want to play gotcha with anybody, with the governor's staff or anything. I mean, we should all be on the same page on this. We should all be achieving the same goal here. And listen, I've known Andrew Cuomo for a long time. I have a great deal of affection for him. I have a tremendous relationship with him. And I think he respects me just as much as I respect him. And I want to make it clear that we are looking to work with him. But these are, this is something that's happening that island residents are very concerned about, because it is a symptom of a bigger disease that we have to try to find a cure for. So I think that if we go into this meeting, or whatever the continued dialogue is, and we are giving them all of the concerns that we have, and giving them the opportunity to respond to it, and find ways to work towards a solution, I think that would be fantastic. Yeah.
I'm just reminded, the last time we met with the governor of the state of New York, it happened to be under the auspices of the state senator. And the governor was George Kentucky, and the senator was Olga Mendes. When we sat in a room for 45 minutes and we talked about this pressing need for a seat at the table. The result of that meeting was a requirement that there be a majority of island residents on the board of directors. It's just amazing what a meeting like that can do. Linda walked in with a briefing book this thick.
Right.
They knew us intimately by the end of that meeting.
Right.
We can do it again.
And also, when you consider what's the downside? What's the downside of providing more democracy for island residents? That you have maybe a happier constituency? I mean, I don't see what the problem is. But you're right. Sometimes it's just those connections need to be made. And you'd be surprised what a simple meeting can do. And tomorrow we'll get some more information as far as what this meeting is, and whether it be that meeting or whether it be in a subsequent meeting where we can have a bigger forum, a bigger discussion. And you're right, we need to have the governor come out to the island. I think we'll have a wonderful time out here meeting with folks. And I think it will give everyone the opportunity to discuss with him the concerns. I don't want to call him.
That's fine.